the last action of the weekend did happen in the AFC, but I actually want to start our Sunday 6 for Week 18 in the NFC, where 3 different results came down to the wire in the afternoon window and shaped what looks to be one of the best wild card weekends I can remember. I mean, talk about a football fan's dream. I think these NFC matchups for this season, they look about as good on paper as possible. And it all kind of hinges around not what you would call a thrilling result in Washington, but a very convincing one. The Dallas Cowboys come from behind over the last few weeks of the season, and they win the NFC East with a dominant 38-10 win against the Washington Commanders. Kind of scary for the first hour or so, and then the Cowboys easily pull away. Dak Prescott bombs away for 4 touchdowns on the day, 36 for the season. CeeDee Lamb becomes the first Cowboys receiver to go over 1,700 yards on the year. Cowboys finish the season 5-1 against the NFC East. They outscore their division rivals by a combined total of 228-78, an average score of 38-13 in division play. And remember, that one loss to Philadelphia up at the Link, coming by just the width of a fingernail. Incredibly dominant outing from the Cowboys. They are now the 2 seed in the NFC. As it turns out, didn't even necessarily need the win to secure the division. Philadelphia Eagles go on the road to New York, and the ongoing collapse continues. Just an embarrassing loss to the New York Giants. But the win, coupled with that, it does boost the Cowboys up to the number 2 overall seed. They could have been 3 with a loss. They take care of business. They are now positioned as well in the NFC playoffs as they have been since Dak Prescott's rookie year. They were the 1 seed back in 2016, but even with a 2 seed, if they can handle business at home, they get to stay there for 1, maybe even 2 weeks. Shoot, they could play the whole thing at AT&T Stadium, depending on how this goes. So I'm joined now by the guys who had the call in Washington, Greg Olsen, Kevin Burkhardt, to talk about where things might go in the playoffs for the Dallas Cowboys. All right, guys. I mean, look, I'm not sure the Cowboys needed a confidence boost, but they certainly get one, right? I mean, the road is where they've struggled this season. They get the win, they win the division, and they do it in some style too. I mean, can this be a confidence boost heading into the playoffs?
I don't know if confidence is right, but they need to play better, I think. Don't you? I mean, the last 3 games, Greg, they had some things that popped up. Offense wasn't as good. Defense was letting some things up. So I think just playing better going into the playoffs means something.
Yeah, and they had a very specific kind of checklist of things that they wanted to get accomplished today. Offensively, they wanted to protect the ball. There was the deflected pass that was intercepted. We can kind of chalk that up to a bad luck, but Dak Prescott played out of his mind, highly efficient, 4 touchdown passes. They wanted to protect the passer, no sacks allowed. So offensively, I think they accomplished what they wanted. The run game was a little bit better, a little bit more efficient with Tony Pollard. On defense, really the only remaining question mark that they have on defense is closing out tight games, and obviously that wasn't the case today. So at some point in the playoffs, their defense is going to be on the field with a lead late in the game, and that's really the last puzzle piece for what's been one of the most well-rounded and well-balanced teams in the entire league.
Sure.
So I'll put y'all on the spot. They get the home game, at least one. If they handle their business, they are at least guaranteed to be at home until potentially the NFC title game. We'll see what happens. But if they're clicking and we know how well they can play at home, what's the ceiling for these guys?
Look, they're a different team at home. We've seen it. You know, sometimes you see the stats and it's like, okay. But their stats are legit. Like, they are different at home. They're harder to beat at home. They're a different animal. But, you know, listen, it's the Cowboys in the playoffs, and there's a different kind of pressure.
Absolutely. And I think the way this NFC playoff picture has shaken out, I think there's 7 teams in there that all have a shot. I think this is as good and well-balanced top 7 teams that we've had in the playoffs really in a long time. So I think those wild card teams, they're typically you host a home game and things are easy. I'll tell you what, there's a couple of these wild card teams that I know you're not thrilled to see coming to your place. And Dallas is going to have a tough road, but listen, they play like they did today. They play like they have all year at home next week and potentially beyond. And they're going to be one of the hardest outs in the playoffs.
It's going to be a thrilling wild card weekend. I can't wait to talk to y'all about it, guys. Appreciate it.
See you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
I thought KB made the really excellent point that the expectations are different. The pressure is different for the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. We know how long it's been. We know what's at stake for this team. Cowboy fans, at least a lot of them, get a little antsy at this time of year as they wait to see how their team delivers on those expectations. I do appreciate the team not going to shy away from them. If you didn't see, Dak Prescott declining to wear a division championship hat in the post game after the win against Washington, and he didn't shy away from telling Aaron Andrews why.
Well, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, all smiles, clinched the division and the number 2 seed. Where's the hat?
I want something bigger than that.
Ooh, I like it, Dak. Not afraid to be a little spicy, not afraid to give a good quote. I just hope Dak Prescott and the Cowboys can back it up next weekend, because I promise you the world will be watching thanks to what turned in to a hell of a pairing in the wild card round. Dallas Cowboys host the Green Bay Packers. Head coach Mike McCarthy's former team, the team that named a street after him in Green Bay, Wisconsin for winning Super Bowl 45. And let's pause to consider the fun that led to this wild card pairing, which is as good as it gets. Because like I said, simultaneously on Sunday afternoon, you had 2 finishes that led to these results. In the Central Time Zone, Jordan Love and the Packers beat the Bears at Lambeau to secure a wild card spot. Probably a more dominant win than the scoreline suggests, but whatever, 17-9, you'll take it as you can get it. Then, just as that's happening, Carson Wentz, with some late game heroics, ties up the 49ers with a touchdown run late in the game. And what the hell? Sean McVay says, we're already in the postseason. Let's play for the win. They get it, 21-20. And so now those 2 wins by Green Bay and LA set up this wild card pairing that TV executives could have only dreamt about when the season starts. Like I said, Sunday afternoon, in the late afternoon window, Cowboys host the Green Bay Packers. The Mike McCarthy angle speaks for itself. 2 of the biggest brands in football, 9 combined Super Bowls between these 2 teams. It's Dak Prescott's next chance to rewrite his legacy in the playoffs. It's Jordan Love's first chance. I don't think I need to say a whole lot else.